Watch where you step. I'm picking up a lot of sonic mines down there. Don't run unless you have to. If you have any skill with demolitions, you might be able to recover them and use them against the droids. That is, if the mines don't get you first. If you have survey gear or a safety harness, put them on. They'll make spotting and disarming the sonic charges a little easier. Those mining droids, especially the excavator models, are designed to arm and set sonic charges for mining. Chances are if they still had charges after they went rogue, and they may have set them to try and kill the miners. And you. If you see one of those excavators, watch out. They may use their undeployed charges as projectiles. getting close to something big. I think it's the main ventilation shaft. If so, the central droid controller should be somewhere nearby. Keep an eye out for it. I'm picking up a lot of droids. If you still have a mining energy shield, I'd equip it and switch it on. Sensor? It must be maintenance drones. Watch out. Those still. It's odd they're still active after the explosion. They don't have the same shielding as the mining droids. Be careful of those droids.
What's up, Kurta? We're supposed to be sinking fuel siphons into the 3218 asteroid shelf right now.
Forget the siphons. You know that survivor they pulled from the freighter? One of the miners said they served with her on Malachor 5.
Malachor 5? So she's one of the survivors. Or worse.
Not a survivor, idiot. She's one of the Jedi from Malachor 5.
If she's one of the Jedi, hell, we can't have her walking around here. Well, I don't know what she'll do.
I thought all the Jedi were wiped out in the Civil War, weren't they?
Guess they missed one. But it gets
guy to the exchange? Corda, have you been chewing spice?
Look, you know how big that bounty is? That Jedi's our ticket off this rock.
Gorda, there's no way the officers will go for that. They'll lock us up for sure.
Then we'll improvise.
shutting down. You need to get out of there before they vent fuel to the surface of the asteroid through the tunnels. I may be able to keep it contained until you get the turbo lift to the fuel depot, but not for much longer. I'm locking down the turbo lift to the administration section now to keep the blast from spreading. If you've got anything left to do down there, make it quick, because where you are is gonna get real hot, real soon.
is a pleasure to see you alive, Master, provided my receptors are not off focus. How may I be of assistance? Proud answer. I am an HK series protocol droid master, skilled in transorganic relations and communications. This model has been responsible for the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities across the galaxy. I am fluent in over 6,000 forms of communication, and am also capable of nuances of expression ranging from irony to veiled threats. Irritated explanation. That question has been looping through my query module with alarming frequency, Master, and no satisfactory answer has been forthcoming. As a result, I have chosen instead to turn my efforts to answering the question as to how I may depart this drifting disaster area as quickly as answer. It is only a matter of time before a ship or freighter docks with the Paragus facility. Condescending retraction. I believe you will do your best, Master. This facility would have to be nailed down with a droid-level precision. Of course, Master. Answer. I am a survivor of the Harbinger, just as you were, Master. With the unexpected termination of my previous Master, you are the only organic which I... Answer. The captain of the Harbinger, Master. I was in transit to Telos to facilitate communications and terminate hostilities. However, we did not... Irritated answer. Oh, Master, it is such a long... Hesitant explanation. That has been the subject of considerable discussion since our arrival. I was crudely interrogated concerning our brief history together on board the Harbinger, before its communications, weapons, and engines suffered the cascade failure. Speculation. It is possible you were incapacitated and locked in the well-shielded cargo compartment as the Harbinger was being systematically Clarification. Yes, Master. No doubt the flurry of destruction on board the Harbinger somehow drugged you into a Placation. Merely a turn of phrase, Master. The implication that your state was due to the result of ingesting large quantities of Juma juice was I meant to communicate only that you were somehow rendered unconscious before you were locked. Clarification. By locked, I meant sealed, Master. Recitation. Following the unusual set of coincidences that led to the cascade failure in the Harbinger's systems, it appeared that this freighter had been attacked, and the captain wanted to study it. This freighter appeared to be still. Your cargo compartment was breached, and you were taken on board the freighter shortly before the Harbinger's systems began to go critical. I, too, managed to board the freighter before the Harbinger's destruction. We were most... Evaluation. Master, I do not know. Judging from the damage, it had been attacked by a much... And when it attempted to escape the Harbinger with you on board, it was fired on again. Addendum. It does seem odd that such a small vessel has a high probability of attracting the attention of much larger vessels. Not a welcome trait in a... Explanation. I believe it was a smuggler's vessel by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Speculation. As to its purpose, I do not know. Perhaps it was always its intention to play dead, then kidnap you off the Harbinger and rob me of my bounty. Clarification. By bounty, I refer to your life, Master. It would pain. Apology. My memory core cannot provide a clear answer on that point, Master. Suffice to say. Explanation. Despite my market value, Master, the miners were far more interested. While an HK protocol droid is a valuable piece of property, Jedi are worth painful admission. I must confess to feelings of inferiority at the I was forced to remind myself. It was not due to a failing of my model or function, but Surprised answer. Why, I told them, Master. You are the exiled Jedi who served with Revan in the Mandalorian Wars, are you not? I hope all that has happened has not been the result of a miscommunication. If so, then the problem lies with the core word databases. Indignant exclamation. Master, I am only a protocol droid, but it is part of my function to know such information and relay it to any interested... Quick clarification. Apparently my vocabulator has suffered some damage, Master. I meant terminating any potential hostilities. Answer. All that has happened has been because they believe you to be a Jedi, Master. They debated what one group seemed intent on selling. 3 standard hours after the division between the miners became apparent, accidents began to occur throughout the facility. These accidents coincided with the degradation of the mining droid behavioral cores. Crude models are prone to such failures, resulting in murderous rampages. The mortality rate of organics in the facility. Many miners began to join you in the medical bay as a cascade of flawlessly timed detonations occurred in isolated. The explosions herded the miners into emergency sections of the station, quickly and efficiently cutting them off from communications and facility control. But sadly enough, you see, the explosions had damaged specific sections of this facility's ventilation system. Defensive answer. Master, I am a protocol droid, not a well-crafted assassination droid of unrivaled sophistication. To have carried out the actions that took place here would have required an unusual set of skills. It is highly unlikely I possess the knowledge of how to reprogram the memory cores of base worker-class droids into killing machines, let alone to terminate the organics at this facility, utilizing only Aerotech 500 series laser mining drills and explosives fashioned from proton. Of course, Master. Answer. I am... Irritated answer. Of course. Proud answer. This mod has been responsible for the facility. I am... Clarification. Oh, yes, Master. Sometimes the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities, the unspoken threat of violence to a listener's loved ones, or if possible, their entire... Hesitant answer. A T3 utility droid would be a common sight in this facility. However, I feel I must inform you that, droid prejudice aside, T3 models exhibit this individualism can become such a nuisance that even a droid such as myself is tempted to reduce them to their base components. If not, but enough of my seemingly irrelevant tangent. Where did you leave the droid, Master? That... Answer. Then that would explain why such a T3 unit isn't here, Master. Of course, Master. Pitying answer. Oh, that is unfortunate, Master. The hangar is sealed behind a containment. Clarifying query. Did the T3 unit go through the... Although the door could have been opened from the opposite side without much difficulty, a flaw in the emergency lockdown procedure. Answer. Only the Paragus administrator. If he hasn't already been murdered in an unfortunate accident, then he is trapped in the dormitory section, which has been effectively... Apology. Unfortunately, communication with the dormitory section is severed, Master. It is perhaps for the best, especially if that were the case. The severed comm link would have spared us the satisfaction of hearing the miners scream. Rapid retraction. Why, yes, satisfaction. It would be unfortunate if they had been slaughtered, but there would be a calm, comforting certainty that there is nothing we can do to escape until a ship arrives. Theory. You could walk across the surface of the asteroid to the dormitory airlock, but such a route would be extremely hazardous, and I do not wish to see you damaged. Warning, Master. Continued exploration of this facility may place you in unnecessary danger. I encourage you to return to the medical bay and wait for retrieval from a vessel that is no doubt on the way, even as we continue this pointless. Weary resignation. Very well, Master, but there is very... Correction. Oh, I already possess the code. Condescending explanation. Master, the console governing the droid maintenance is amusing. In the last days of his life, the maintenance officer was quite careful about voice protocols. Conjecture. I suspect once he realized something was wrong in the facility, he voice locked the... Explanation. Yes, Master. Condescending explanation. Oh, yes, Master. The code is Maintenance Control Voice Print ID R1B5. But answer. Master, you cannot. You are trapped. Of course. Of course. Answer. That is all that remains of the maintenance officer, Master. At the end, I heard his dying scream. Recitation? Oh, yes, Master.
5 droids, burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay. Please, someone there! Oh no, they're through! Oh, my leg! They're burning through my leg! Oh, stop! Stop, please!
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life. Objection. Master, to commit such an act would be in violation of the... Of course. Of course, for that, you would need to unlock... Of course, Answer. That is... I heard his dying... Recitation. Oh.
5 droids.
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life. Objection. Irritated objection. Master, there is nothing wrong with my communications functionality. I will prove it. A recitation. Maintenance control voice print ID R1B5. There. Was that some... Alarmed objection. Oh, Master, no. I might inadvertently speak such a command near a console and accidentally unlock something I shouldn't. I was merely speaking such to prove to you that I could. It is... Confused query. I am sorry, Master. Condescending explanation. Mute conjecture. Objection. Irritated statement. Master, if you insist on echoing everything I say, this already tedious conversation is in clarification. But yes, most droids are believed to possess ethics programming. Greeting. It is a pleasure to see you intact, Master. Greeting. Greeting. It is a pleasure to see... Recitation? Oh, yes, Master. The record of his last...
5 droids. Ready? Oh, my leg!
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication... Objection. Master. Proud answer. Master, I believe my recitation. Maintenance control voice print ID R1B5. There. Was that... Confused query. I am...
Finished the sonic imprint sensor prototype for the mining droids. Everyone knows it. The sensor should allow me to issue voice commands to them rather than manually adjusting their routine each time the mining specification. I've been keeping the sensor in the maintenance workshop for the time being. I wanted to test it first by recording and playing back some simple voice command. Finished my examination of the droids from the Ebonhawk freighter. The T3 unit looked like it had shot the The protocol droid, however, made up for it. It talked my ear off for most of the hour, asking questions about the facility, the personnel, and so on. Still, it wanted to make itself useful, so I put it to work until its master wakes up from the med bay. It seems to have some skills in speaking to droid behavior cores, so there's been some trouble with some of the mining droids, so I'm signing off. Been speaking to the protocol droid about the Jedi in med bay. I thought they'd all gone away or been killed in the Jedi Civil War. The droid told me that his master's the only Jedi he knows of in all the galaxy, and that the Jedi had served in the Mandalorian Wars almost 10 years. That would have meant that the Jedi served under Revan for a time. Maybe the Jedi knows what happened to Revan after the end of the Jedi Civil War. Been too busy to enter a log for a while. There's been more and more accidents since that Jedi arrived. The miners are starting to get restless, especially Korta. Korta said the exchange is offering a huge bounty on Jedi Knights and that we can make a fortune if we sell the Jedi to Nar Shaddaa. Security shot down that idea pretty quick. But I don't think Korta and his men are going to give up that easy. I mentioned the trouble to the Jedi's protocol droid, and he seemed concerned about his master's safety. I told the droid not to worry. The Korta wouldn't... With the protocol droid's help, I made some upgrades to the sonic imprint sensor. In addition to its ability to store and record voices, it now has the droid's full array of alien languages, including Basic. Should prove useful as a portable translator. I tried to make sure the protocol unit got some credit for helping fashion it, but the droid refused, saying the work was reward enough. I was thinking of installing the prototype in one of the mining droids as a test and see what happens. When the dock officer reported the droids repairing the Ebonhawk, I installed a voice print ID on the droid console system. Someone ordered them to repair that freighter, but I can't find a trace of the order anywhere. If anyone tries that again, they won't be able to do it from this terminal unless I let them. The voice print should cut any user off from the central functions unless I give the code. The maintenance check on the droids didn't help. If anything, the accidents have increased. Security interrogated me about the droids and they weren't too happy with my answers. I don't understand it though. These aren't combat models. They shouldn't even know how to attack. I can't help but think, what if somebody staged the initial trouble with the mining droids just to get them all sent to maintenance, and then did something to them? I think security's right. Someone's trying to sabotage this facility and they're using the droids to do it. But why?
Coordinates Control, voice print ID, R1B5.
It's about time. I lost your signal after you left the mining tunnels. Now you're coming in clear.
Except I'm picking you up on the exterior of the facility, on the asteroid's surface. That can't be right.
Huh? What are you doing out there? That's what I wanted to tell you. The few remaining venting systems have gone active, most likely from the explosion. They're venting Paraga's fuel deposits into space through the exterior vents. I can't. I'm locked out of the main systems here. I couldn't shut it down if I tried. The vents look like they've been purposely rerouted to vent the gases to the exterior. And only in the last few minutes. It's almost as if... Now what now? I don't believe this. There's a ship coming in, sending a docking code. I have a bad feeling about this.
This may be the beginning of a long record. It's about an hour after the facility suffered the explosion that triggered the emergency lockdown. Just finished helping the dock officer set up the transmission relay. Not much signal strength. The transmission gives the code to open the turbo lift when or if help arrives. Code is a simple group of 5 numbers. 3, 17, 13. Then the next 2 numbers are...
Sir, couldn't we contact the medbay? Maybe the Jedi's awake. If so, she could help us.
No good. The link to the medical computer was severed from the hub, just like the administration console. Even if the Jedi wakes up, how would we get the dormitory turbo lift code to her? Without it, the turbo lift to the administration level is locked down. We just took an inventory of our supplies. We've got enough emergency rations in the dormitories to last almost a month. But with all the problems in the facility, I don't know how long we'll last. I wish we could contact the Jedi. Maybe she could... No. She's still floating in that damn tank. Someone's played us for fools. And since KOTOR and his crew aren't locked in here with us, it's pretty clear who it was. If I ever catch up with that Mandalorian-loving son of a... At least the air scrubbers are still working, even though they're tied into the... Hey, what's happening to the ventilation system? It's... The transmission gives the code to open the turbo lift when or if help arrives. Code is a simple group of 5 numbers. 3, 17, 13. Then the next 2 numbers are...
managed to get to the dormitories. We should be safe here. We've been trying to use the holo-transmitter to beam a transmission to the administration level to end the lockdown. But the administration everyone thinks we should try to evacuate on our own as soon as possible. If there's no way to break the door, I'm going to keep sending distress calls in the meantime. We've been trying to find a way to circumvent the lockdown and get to our hangar bay, but so far... The situation's worse than we thought. Even if we get out of here, we can't shut down the fuel depot force fields if a fuel leak... If so, the only way off this asteroid is if a ship docks with us. But the only connection to the docking platform is on the administration level, and we can't get up to the docking bay while we're trapped here. I only hope someone survived the explosion in the mining tunnels. If not, then we're stranded here. Unless our transmission reaches a passing ship, or a Telos freighter. Managed to use the holo-transmitter here as a crude relay to beam short-burst transmissions outside the Paragas facility. With any luck, the transmission will... We've set the emergency transmission on automatic playback. We're using a simple military flash code to transmit the code to the turbolifts, so maybe without those turbolift codes, our rescuers wouldn't be able to get here from the administration level. And without those codes, we wouldn't be able to get to the administration level. The messages are short distress calls only, since we can't get much signal strength. It's pretty weak, so unless a ship is actively searching the area, after all, who would be scouring frequencies way out here looking for trouble?
The transmission gives the code to open the turbolift when or if help arrives.